there, Diana from Adirondack Girl at Heart. I teach vintage and antique lovers how to create successful antique businesses that they love. One of the ways I do that is through these videos and through my website, adirondackgirlatheart.com. Today, I'm going to be focusing on artwork. It's one of my favorite things to buy, and it's one of my favorite things to decorate with. In fact, my husband and I have been specifically looking lately for pieces of original art to hang in our home. And I do have an article on my website showing some of the artwork. It dates to a few years back, so I probably need to update it. But let's get started taking a look at a few of my recent finds. So I picked up a pair of, they're kind of like a Currier knives. No, they are Currier knives. Kind of dark, right? The glass could use a cleaning. They were $3 each. So price often has a great bearing on what I'm going to buy. So $3, these would sell for definitely like $15 or $20. And if they turn out to be genuine, in other words, a lithograph, not something from a calendar, which I believe these are. You can see there's some age to the back, then they could be worth much more than that. So I'm going to do some research on them. Anybody out there knows anything, let me know. This is of the Catskills in New York, so that's just south of here. Beautiful mountainous area. And then this is a view of New York from, it says Brooklyn Heights. And it's a, boats on the Hudson. So that's an more attractive, I think, than the Catskill one. And again, it was $3. And here is a cool, so this is a Gibson girlish type of illustration. I feel like this might have been in a magazine or something like that. The frame is really dark stained oak, nice frame. And there's a look at the back. You can see some of the age. Very pretty, just a very pretty scene. You could see that hanging in someone's living room or bedroom, maybe something like that. I think that this is Cupid right there. Oh my gosh, I'm just seeing that for the first time. It's Cupid bringing them together. They look a little sad, don't they? Anyways, it was $1 at a garage sale, and I would price it at about $20 to $25. Now, this is not an old piece, but it's a very attractive piece. This is the Shaker Tree of Life, which, as you may know, I love the Shakers. We live very near a Shaker museum, and I sell there throughout the year in their gift shop. And then at Christmas time, I participate in their about 10-week-long Christmas market. So this is $4, and I love it. I kind of want to keep it. I'm going to have to decide on that. If I were going to sell it, I would price it at about $30. It's hand painted, and like I said, just super attractive, maybe even more than that. Now here's another, this is like another Currier knives type of print. It's Buckingham Palace. We lived in England for a couple of years, visited Buckingham Palace, and there's the guards out front with the red jackets, and it was $6 at an estate sale, and I just felt like I had to have it. So this might end up hanging in the house somewhere. If I were going to sell it, I would probably price it at about $28. Just a nice subject matter there. And now this is a very cool piece. I think it's very cool. You tell me. So this is an engraving, right? So this is a beautiful artwork that was engraved into metal and then printed onto paper. It's got a windmill there, so it makes me think it's Netherlands, comes from the Netherlands. Now, as far as subject matter goes, that's very good for my area because the Dutch settled Albany all the way down to New York City and out west in the early 1600s. So Dutch items like this sell well in my area. I'm a little torn about the amount of white space up there. Like I feel like I would like it to come there, just in terms of like what to look for in art. Those are some things. So this was $5. It's not beautiful, right? It's not beautiful, but in some ways it's striking, I think. And I will price it at about $35. Okay, here is my last smallish piece. This is just a framed Valentine, probably fairly recently framed, but very, very sweet. It's got gold gilt details and pretty little hearts. As you can see, it was $3 at Goodwill, and I will price that at about $15. Put that out. Or, I might list that on Etsy, where I've had luck selling some interesting vintage Valentines, and I would price it probably at $25 if I did that. We'll have to see. This is one of my favorite art finds, right? Look at that. Really nice. I'm calling this a vintage checkerboard. It's in really good shape, and it was made on a piece of plywood. So it's not antique, right? But the graphic effect of that, right? Hanging in the right place. I was thinking possibly in my own house. I have red accents in the kitchen. You can see there's a pot and some salt and pepper shakers behind me. But I don't have a ton of wall space here in the kitchen. So, although just as I'm saying that, I'm thinking of a spot that might work. In any event, it was $22. So that's why I spent that much for the piece, because I was thinking that I would keep it. If I were going to sell it, I would price it probably about $60 or somewhere around there. So that's that piece. Here's another one that I really, really like and have thought about keeping. It was $8.99 at Salvation Army. This is acrylic on board. It's dated 1982, so it's not super old, although that's 40 years, right? It's 42 years old. It says Vermont cheese, Ripton Country Store. I'm imagining that that's a real place in Vermont. I like the composition. I kind of wish that the store was down just a tiny bit more. Like this bores me, but I still really like it. I think it's well done. And the red, again, is just a great color for decorating, I believe. And I would price this at about $40, $38. But, and I have listed several pieces of art on Etsy, and only a few have sold, but I feel like this might do well there, so we'll have to think about that. And the shipping, I don't know, shipping might be tricky. Finding the right size box, etc. All right, here's another piece from a thrift store, $3.99. This looks to me like colored pencil, and not thrilled with the frame, but the colors are really nice, right? The aqua with the red, and there. Can we get a view without a reflection? I will price this at about $28. I guess that's my go-to price for today. And I wouldn't try that on Etsy. That'll be in my booth. And then here is a final piece. It's an oil painting on canvas. And what first attracted me actually was the frame. This is red barnboard frame, and just really, really beautiful. Lined with white strip there. So, and then the scene is really beautiful, right? Trees and countryside and water down here. And then you suddenly realize that it's a golf course. There's a little flag right there, which is a little disconcerting. But overall, I think that the composition is really nice with the sort of framed by this tree, and then these bushes and trees down here, and then the sky on the top. And again, I guess I have a thing for barns, right? So then your eye goes to the barn and the water down below. So composition and color wise, I think it's very pretty. It was $5 at a garage sale. And if I were going to sell it, I would price it at about $85. We are thinking about keeping it, but haven't found a place to hang it yet. Yeah, that's always a problem, at least for me. I don't have a ton of walls. So that's it for my art finds. I hope you enjoyed seeing them. And as always, happy hunting.